Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Mentor Asia Pacific. Wow, this is the first time we're doing something outdoors. I don't know if you can tell where we're at the moment. We are in the heart of Aganya right now, Aganya. And we got my friend here, Bong, for being on the show, brother.
Thank you for having me, bro.
Right on, bro. So let's do a formal introduction. Introduce who you are, man.
All right, my name is Bong Mendoza. I'm from the village of Dededo, born and raised on Guam, graduate of Father Dueñas. I was a former teacher and now running a food truck.
Right on. So as you guys can see behind us, Bongdoza, after this interview, he's going to be cooking up something good, man. So share one thing that most people might not know about you, brother.
I think what most people don't know about me is I'm an overthinker, that I like to analyze a lot of things, and it's like a double-edged sword, you know. Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing, you know. But yeah, I'm an overthinker.
You're overthinker. So you overthought this truck, I guess, dude.
Yes, it's always on my mind, you know. Like ever since I started this venture, the mind just never shut off, you know.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right, brother. So before this truck, what's your story? How'd you get to where you are today?
Before this truck, I was a teacher for the government of Guam. I was teaching at Inarajan Middle School down in the south. The first 2 years I was the ESL teacher / coordinator. I did a couple of years as their curriculum coordinator, curriculum coach, and I did about a year back in the general classroom teaching 7th and 8th grade language arts.
Okay, right on. And then how did you make that leap from being a teacher to running a food truck, man?
The latter part of that teaching path, you know, I started to become unhappy with the career. You know, it felt like it was no longer for me, and the passion was dying, you know. And I didn't want to be one of those teachers who just waited until summer or waited until Easter break or waited until Friday nights, you know, and just stayed in the classroom. And you know, if my heart wasn't in it, then the students would suffer as well, you know, their education. So I felt like it was time for me to move on and do something else and give someone else the opportunity to be in the classroom who wants to be there, or who still had the passion for it. Yeah.
So how did you, when did this idea for Bongdoza come about?
Oh man, you know what? I did a barbecue stand about, I think it was like in 2010 or 2011. It was a long time ago. I was still an undergrad. I was still working at a bar also. So this was just kind of like the barbecue stand was kind of like just to make extra cash, you know. And I like it, you know. I like cooking. I like cooking for my friends and doing like when we have gatherings and stuff like that. So, and then I was talking to my friends who are business owners as well, and they can tell that I was unhappy with the teaching career. So the plan was to just do a barbecue stand again at a mom and pop store, you know. So I went to talk to the owner of that mom and pop store, the owner of the land, and she said, just be public health approved and you can operate here no problem, right? So I started looking at what I needed to be completely legit and things like that, and I started looking at the food truck business, you know. And the plan was to just bring the food truck to that mom and pop store, no name, just be there and operate nightly, you know. And man, you know what? Once I got the food truck and this started happening, something happened with that mom and pop store that they didn't want me there anymore, you know. So I was like, man, what am I gonna do? That was the plan, you know. So then I started thinking of different menu items. I talked to my friend and he's like, why don't you start delivering, you know, just get your name out. And then I was like, okay, what am I gonna call it? And my personal Instagram name was Bongdoza because my name is Bong Mendoza, right? And then he's like, just call it Bongdozas, and here we are.
What are some of your key item menus right now, man?
Oh, I only have 4 menu items. So my 4 menu items were the beefy mac and cheese, that's the homemade hamburger helper, and the fried rice bowl. That was my second item with the hamburger, with the beefy mac and cheese, because fried rice, it's something like that also. Like everybody loves fried rice, but it takes a lot of things to make, you know, unless you have leftovers. But if you're gonna buy a can of Spam and then cook up a single serving fried rice, you have so much left over, you know. Or if you're gonna add Portuguese sausage or whatever you're adding to your fried rice. So I started making it like a service. Like, let me cook up this fried rice so people don't have to worry about all that other stuff like storing the meats and whatever they cook. So those are my first two items. And personally, I love loco mocos, right? And one of my other friends suggested, like, bro, you got to make the loco moco, right? So I started making that. And then people who knew my barbecue stand before, they were asking, when are you going to bring back the barbecue? So that's when I introduced the barbecue chicken. So my 4 items, beefy mac bowl, fried rice bowl, loco moco bowl, and barbecue chicken bowl. Just those 4 items.
All right. So I'm gonna make this assumption that you are not classically trained chef.
No, I'm not.
So, where did we learn to cook, brother? Where did you get that kind of skill?
It was just learning as I go, YouTubing, you know, or trying to get the noodles, the macaroni noodles, right to to al dente, you know, and like how am I gonna store it and things like that. So it's basically all experience, YouTube, and just learning as I go, man. Yeah, and just talking to all these different people, because there are some people that I meet, you know, and I try to, like I said, I'm an overthinker. So when I talk to somebody, I'm really trying to look for something like a takeaway, you know, like learning. So yeah, just learning from different people, learning as I go, and that's it, man. Yeah, always learning, forever learning.
How do you think teaching or being a teacher influence how you manage and run the truck right now, brother?
Oh wow, I think with that word manage is one of the key words there. You know, I think learning how to manage 25 to 30 middle schoolers, you know, hot, sweaty middle schoolers after PE with no aircon in the classroom. And I think honestly, I think teaching helped me handle a lot of chaos, right? And I'm sure you can relate too. You've been in the classroom, right? With the planning as well, you know, I think planning on how you're gonna mold children's lives is almost like planning how you're gonna run a business, you know. Well, overthinking, right? Overthinking. And to be honest, one of the things that kind of keeps me going with this is like, I don't want to go back to teaching, so I gotta make this work, you know. And I'm just being brutally honest. But yeah, at least not for now, and not in that situation. If I ever go back to teaching, it's gonna be a little different. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That's all right, man. I mean, there's some things that I kind of share, maybe about stepping away from the classroom. There's a lot of me that also misses it.
Man, yeah.
Outside that middle school and high school level for me.
Actually, I know exactly what you mean, because 2 days ago, Tuesday, I closed down. I didn't make any sales or whatever. I closed down to go to my former students' 8th grade promotion, you know. And the reason why I went there is because one of my students who I saw great potential in, and I try to keep keep motivating her, because she was a great writer. She personally texted my business phone and said, Mr. Mendoza, my promotion is on the 28th, please come. And I was like, man, just that one invite from that one student, I was okay, I'll close, I'm gonna go out. And then when I went there and I saw all my former kids, and then a good amount of them were in the top 10. And, you know, walking the hallway, seeing my former co-workers and co-teachers and stuff, as much as I became unhappy, I saw all the reasons why I was happy there also, you know. And yeah, holy cow, it's just really coming back to me. Like, actually wouldn't mind going back, having that impact on a student's life and future. It's a wonderful feeling that it's hard to mimic, you know, that intrinsic reward that you get from teaching kids. Yeah.
I totally agree with you there, bro. Totally agree.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you something that you might even want to wait for later. Is if you keep in contact with these kids, just wait 4 and then maybe 5 more years after that.
Yeah.
And it really, you start to really feel the kind of change that you made, not only with yourself but for some of your students.
Yeah.
Like, I just saw some of my kids graduate from UOG and GCC, and I was like,
wow,
this is crazy.
But yeah, that's right, man. And what I forgot who said it, or if it was a quote somewhere, but they said, like, once you're my student, you'll always be my student, you know. And that was actually a cool way to look at it, you know. Yeah.
Like, opening a truck is hard.
Yep.
You know, putting the menu together, that's kind of from your heart. Those are your menu items. But you know, what are the ins and outs of running a food truck? What were some of the struggles that you learned?
Oh man, the struggles. First and foremost, I think being a food truck is location. You know, finding locations to pop up at and trying not to step on anybody's toes when you go to that new location. Weather, you know, I mean, like we're always hoping for sunny days, you know. There's a lot of things that I didn't take into account before, you know, in regards to storage, you know, and a lot of people do ask me why my menu is so limited at the moment. Well, the first and foremost thing is I keep it limited because I don't want the quality to diminish if I expand too fast, you know. But then of course storage capabilities, you know, I mean, like I don't have much refrigeration in my trailer. I don't have much space in the trailer either, you know, so things like that. There's a lot of back end work that I just wasn't expecting, and I learned I'm learning as I'm going, you know. Probably the main thing is there's a lot of unseen work that although I'm open 10 to 2, I'm up like 6 in the morning prepping, you know. I'm up until 8 at night cleaning or preparing for the next day, you know, things like that. So there's a lot of work that goes into it, you know, and it's almost one of those things like you won't know unless you're in it, you know what I mean? Yeah.
True. So if there's any, like, you know, food truck entrepreneurs out there, anybody that's thinking about getting into the food business, what advice, 1 or 2 tidbits that you give them about starting up?
Especially on Guam, I think right now I'd say go for it. You know, don't let the doubts kind of hold you back. If anything, use that to motivate you. You know, I feel personally that the community on Guam is very welcoming to food trucks, and you know, like Guam, we're all about food here, you know. So yeah, you know, and don't let the doubts stop you. Let it motivate you, right? But I think probably the key thing in the food truck or in anything is just surround yourself with good, positive people. You know, and I think that's what keeps me going. You know, I'm blessed with very, very, very good friends. You know, and I would, man, you know, I don't know where I'd be without them, without their support, without their encouragement and things like that. You know, and without the positive thinking. You know, and there are going to be times when you're, like, at the end of the day, after a long shift, a long hard shift, or something goes wrong. You know, and it's gonna seem like things aren't working out at the moment, you know, but I mean, like, it sounds cliche, right? It's a bad day, not a bad life, you know. Like, I think there's always gonna be other opportunities there are other opportunities that are gonna present itself. You just have to look for them, you know.
If there was something that you were looking forward to with this truck, you know, plans for the future or anything like that, you know, if you're gonna expand your menu, you're gonna get a fleet of trucks.
Yeah.
What does Bongdoza look like in the future for you?
You know what? It's hard to even say what exactly it's gonna be, because to be honest, when I look, I don't know if it's a good thing. When I look at a year from now, I don't know if I'm still gonna be in the food truck business. You know, what seemed to start off as a food truck or a barbecue stand at a mom and pop store, and then now it's going to a name, you know, it's Bongdoza's. You know, I'm kind of excited to see where this is going to take me in regards to yeah, like I said, I'm an overthinker, you know. I kind of want to go into merchandise, or I kind of want to do something else with the name Bongdoza's, or just go into a brick and mortar, or, like, you know, like you reminded me how much I did like teaching. You know, it could be man, I still got my credentials. Could be a Bongdoza's learning center. You know what I mean? Like, that's why when I thought of the saying, you know, it's always moving. It's not Bongdoza's food truck. It's not Bongdoza's fast food. It's not Bongdoza's so and so. It's Bongdoza's always moving, because man, I think it's almost like man, we're just gonna see where this goes, you know. We're just gonna see where it goes. Yeah.
All right, brother. All right, guys, we're gonna thank Bong for being on the show today. Once again, that's been an episode from Mentor Asia Pacific. See you guys next time. Thanks guys for tuning into Mentor Asia Pacific. Once again, I'm out in Sangha. Check out all our social media that's going to be linked down below. Stay tuned, more mentors are to come. We're going to be releasing a mentor every week. And please leave a comment down below for any mentors that you'd like to be featured on the channel, any business professional, entrepreneur, or anybody that you believe is inspiring and can provide to be a mentor for the youth as well. Until next time, thank you very much. Sangha out.